Now that you know the legality of being a bookie, we'll tell you the punishment for being a bookie. We want to start by saying that you should seek out a lawyer in your local jurisdiction if you want to learn the exact laws where you reside. But we can discuss the general guidelines. We can't provide individual legal advice as it varies state to state and country to country. What we can tell you is that it's illegal to operate a sportsbook in some jurisdictions. However, how often have you heard of a bookie getting in trouble with the law where you live? It's extremely rare, especially if you keep your head down and operate ethically. How do bookies get into trouble? The number one way bookies get into trouble is because they put themselves into bad positions. For example, offering too much credit can lead to problems. We've discussed this topic in previous lessons. It's important not to offer a player more credit than they can afford to pay. Here's a quick scenario to illustrate how this can quickly become a problem. You give a friend $2,500 in credit. He loses it all, chasing bad bet after bad bet. He now owes you a large sum for most people. Let's say he can't pay you the $2,500. What are you going to do? What you should do is try to work out a payment plan with the player. If that doesn't work, simply write off the debt and chalk it up as a learning lesson as to why you can't offer too much credit. What shouldn't you do? You absolutely can never start breaking the law to try to get paid. I'm sure you've heard of stories of bookies breaking kneecaps. Well, that's not really in 99.9% of situations like this. Never threaten a player that owes you money and never try to add interest into debt. Some bookies will try to add 10% interest on debts owed, but that just causes problems. For one, it's highly illegal, and secondly, you're giving the player a reason to try and get you booked. In some cases, it's better to forgive a debt and move on. Stop communicating with the player. What could happen if I'm caught being a bookie? Again, this is very based on the circumstances, jurisdiction, and many other variables. However, if you're not threatening players, being violent, or breaking the law, other than that, just being a bookie, you're likely going to never have any problems, as long as you're not showing off your wealth. If you're a small bookie that gets caught facilitating bets, you'll likely get a slap on the wrist. Problems can arise when you start bringing criminal elements into play. Growing too big. There comes a time for some bookies when they become too big for where they're operating. This is rare and only most successful bookies will ever need to worry about this. But if you end up growing a massive betting sheet and you're in an illegal jurisdiction, you need a plan B. When you grow to become a big bookie, it's time to start looking and moving offshore. There are plenty of countries where PPH bookies can operate freely and legally without having to worry about a disgruntled client causing them trouble with the law. At the end of the day, if you're really worried about the punishment for being a bookie where you live, you're going to need to consult a lawyer with knowledge of the local jurisdiction. However, 99% of PPH bookies will never have an encounter with law enforcement. Always run your business ethically. Continue through our Legality chapter to learn more information about bookie laws and whether or not you need to pay any taxes. This is the end for this video. Find the quiz in the platform and check out how much you've learned. Please like and subscribe to keep getting more videos.